morning, happy Sunday. This is Jackie Musime Kyuguru, aka JMK, and welcome to Real Talk. Today, I want to talk about the comeback. When you think about the comeback, many of us go through certain situations and you think you'll never come back to the place that you were before. Some of us go through dire instances in our lives and you think that, my God, I will never come back. Some of us have lost loved ones. Some of us have lost our jobs. Some of us have been in accidents that have never left us the same. Some of us have, I can't even imagine, some of us have gone through so many different scenarios that when you're in that scenario, you feel like, I can't come back, you know? And during those scenarios, you lose so many different things. You lose people who you trusted so much. You lose trust in, you yourself also lose trust in the world. Some even of us lose trust in God. And you're like, how can this happen to me? There is no way that if God was there, this could happen to me. But I have good news for you. God is always there. And He never lets you stay in that situation until He says it is over. There is a certain song that I really love. And I can't sing it because I don't have an angelic voice like my daughter. But I'll just talk about the lyrics. It says, if God is for me, who can be against me? If God is with me, who shall I fear? If everybody leaves me, I know that the Lord always has me in His heart. And I love listening to that song because it always gives me encouragement. Depending on what situation I'm going through, I always know that God is with me. So today, I'm going to talk about my personal experience so that some of you can identify with me and understand that we all go through such situations in life. But our choice on how we handle those situations is what is important. For example, if we go through these situations and we decide, okay, I'm going to spend my time in the bar as I'm depressed, then the bar will give you an answer, if you know what I'm talking about. But if you decide that when I'm going through those situations, I am going to lean on God, I'm going to pray, I'm going to fast, I'm going to trust in Him, I'm going to have faith in Him, then trust me, that comeback will come at God's timing, but surely that comeback will come. So, some years ago, not too many years ago, about maybe 2 years ago, I lost my job. And it was such a horrible feeling. And emotionally, I felt betrayed. I felt not wanted. I felt, how can this happen to me after I've given so many years, 10 years to an employer, and I've put in all of myself, and all of a sudden they wake up and say, your contract is not going to be renewed. And I was so depressed, trust me. I came home and I told my kids that, you know what, this has happened. And I remember my daughter asking me, so mommy, where are you going to get money from for the next, for our needs? And it was a trying situation. I am not the best when I'm going through a hard time. I like staying to myself, keeping to myself, and I close off the world. And I think some of you are like that. So I used to spend time in my bed. I would just spend time in my bed without eating, without drinking. I was just there in my bed. And I used to play a pity party in my head and blaming everybody and thinking, my God, the world has come to an end. Until a friend of mine told me, you know what, Jackie, you need to start praying. So he introduced me to a place called Shiloh on Entebbe Road, and I used to go there every Saturday. And when you go there every Saturday from morning, you have to fast. And we would pray from 9 o'clock to about 6 o'clock. I'm telling you, I have never been in such an environment and such a fellowship where you just feel the presence of the Lord. And every week I would go there. And I'm telling you, my life changed. At that point in time, the Lord started speaking to me. I started sending audios without even knowing the kind of direction the Lord was taking me to. And those audios were speaking about faith and getting out of different scenarios and being alone but not alone, but God being with you. Not realizing that I was actually speaking and future. And during that time, when I was speaking the audios, I was still in a situation of not having a job. But when somebody would listen to those audios, they would think that I'm doing well. And I realized after some time that it was a manifestation of the faith that the Lord was putting in me to believe in what was coming. And I thank God that after that, the Lord blessed me with a job that I did not even apply for. I had started a business called JMK Advisory Services. And when I started that business, I used to go to different businesses to pitch and tell them that I want to train them and things like that. And I go to this company where I'm working now, and they tell me, we want you to work for us. And tell me if that was not God. And after that, I realized that, you know what? God is really amazing. After that, sending the audios, I did not stop there. I continued encouraging people, because you see, when you've gone through a certain situation in life, it is very easy for you to speak to somebody about the situations that they are going through. And I'm very blessed in a way that I have gone through so many valleys in my life that I'm able to come up and be able to speak to different ladies and even gentlemen about different scenarios, if it's got to do with relationship, if it's got to do with losing a job, and things like that. And I would encourage all of us that at the end of the day, if it's not God, it is nothing. And we need to find time to read the Word of God, to fellowship with people, to understand exactly that God He always sticks closer than a brother. We shouldn't always think about, oh my God, my best friend left me, this co-worker talked about me, or my child doesn't believe in me. At the end of the day, God has got your back, and with Him, everything is possible. So now, I would like to take you back to the scenario that always happens during our situations that we go through. We realize that there are different kinds of people in this world, okay? They are the backstabbers, they are the fake friends, they are the users, they are those people who betray us in life, they are those people who actually hate you. They hate you when you dress well, they hate you when you dress badly, they hate you when you're tall, they hate you when you're short. They basically just hate you for whatever reason, okay? But one thing we need to be sure is that we cannot control people's responses, or we cannot even control their reactions. What we must do, however, is to always be good to people in whatever scenario you're going through. We need to focus on being like Christ. You know, every morning I wake up and I tell God, God, please let me be like Christ today. Let me try my level best in whatever situation you take me through. Let me be like Christ. If I need to shut up, let me shut up. Because sometimes when you open your mouth, you say things that are not necessary. So Christ, let that be your prayer every morning, to be like Christ. In Proverbs chapter 15, verse 4, it says, the soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. I think we've all gone through scenarios where we've said something and you cannot take it back because you've hurt somebody's feelings. So we need to be very careful about what we say. As Christians, we're always required to do so much as is required from the Lord, and to be an example according to His will. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 to 24, it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you're serving. So every time you wake up to go and do whatever you have to do, always remember that you're not doing it according to man, you're doing it according to Christ. And for as long as you have that perception in your head that I'm doing this stuff for man, you will not be perfect. But if you believe that the Lord is watching your every move, you're going to be perfect in whatever you do, whether it's timekeeping, whether it's perfection at work, whether it's perfection in class, whether it's your behavior generally as a human being. If you know that you're doing everything according to Christ, you're going to ensure that everything is perfect. Jesus knew that for as long as we are in this fallen world, we will be hurt and will be hurt by others. The secret to all this is to forgive quickly. Move on and work on your salvation in fear and trembling. In Isaiah chapter 2, verse 22, it says, stop trusting in mere humans who have but a breath in their nostrils. Why hold them in esteem? So some of us adore people more than we adore God. And yet they just have a simple breath in their nostrils. It's the people who can just fall down and die anytime, or wake up and leave you anytime. So why do you put so much trust in humans when you're supposed to be putting your trust in God? In Numbers 23 verse 19, this is one of my most favorite verses. It says, God is not human that he should lie. He's not a human being that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? Some of us will go through this verse and think about how many people have promised us so much and they have not fulfilled. How many people have told us that they're going to do something for us and they have not done it. How many people have told us that they love us and tomorrow they hate us? So at the end of the day, we always need to remember that God is a person that never changes. It's your response that counts, and that is why it is very important to read the Word of God constantly, meditate upon the Word, understand the Word of God, so that you're aware of how loving our God is and how he can reveal himself to each one of us. In Psalms 148 verse 8 it says, "The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and rich in love." So when I learned who God was during my dire situation and what my purpose in life was, I started focusing on him more and not on my situation. We need to focus on God in whatever situation we're going through and not focus on what we're going through. And trust me, your life will be so much better. How did God give me my comeback? Some of you will be wondering, okay, fine, the Lord gave you your comeback. How did he give me my comeback? And most importantly, if we're focusing on God. As I had said earlier, I started sending audios to people, and these audios were such a blessing to so many people. They spoke to so many people, and people continued, writing back to me and telling me, "Jackie, thank you, we're so blessed." And up to today, I still have people who call me and say, "Jackie, I'm going through this. How can I be assisted?" And I always take them to the Word or sit down with them and just have fellowship with them. I also opened up my own business, as I had spoken about earlier. My business was assisted. Oh, and I thank God for my sister and my cousin who really assisted me during this time. I wrote a book during that period called Real Talk. The Lord, of course, blessed me with a job that I spoke about, and then I started with this talk show. And I started realizing that, most of the time when we're going through certain situations, we have a calling that the Lord is focusing us on or to. And at the end of the day, we need to realize that we need to listen to that still small voice from the Lord and understand that he is telling us that we have a strength in something. And I've realized that the Lord is slowly helping me to be that lady that encourages people with these talk shows, even in my day-to-day life, when I'm at work or when I'm in my social gatherings. You always find that there is that person who needs to hear something encouraging. One would then ask me, "Jack, isn't it scary sometimes to put yourself out there as somebody who is an encourager or somebody who is an apostle or somebody who is out there to speak Christ and spread the word?" I said, no. It is not scary because the Lord has shown me what he can do. The Lord has been so faithful in my life that all I can do is be his child and do what he wants me to do. At the end of the day, it's all God. He has been so faithful to me, and why can't I be faithful to him and reach out to those that need to hear the word? So my dears, what can we get from this? We need to trust in the Lord for everything. Difficult situations are always a good lesson if we focus on God, and they are never permanent. That's what we always need to understand. Bad situations or difficult situations are never permanent. And then you need to give your heart. You need to give your life to the Lord. You need to accept him as your personal Savior and receive him and say, "Lord, I give myself to you." Constantly, I give myself to you. And with all that, the sky is the limit for all of us. So I love you all. God bless you. This is Real Talk.